station. This is the Evergreen Aviation and Space Museum. How do you hear me?
We hear you loud and clear. Welcome aboard the International Space Station.
Okay. We've got 20 very excited young people here that have some questions for you, so we're going to get started.
Hi, I'm Allison Pope, 7th grade, Patton Middle School. And how long do you have to train to be an astronaut?
Hi, Allison. Well, that's a good question. You know, at NASA, we trained for several years before you could fly in space for the first time. When I was a new astronaut, from the time I started until I flew in space was about 3.5 years. Some people, it depends on luck mostly, but it takes a little bit longer. But I like to think I've been training for this job since I was in kindergarten. So a lot of school, a lot of different types of training before I got to NASA, and a lot of training even today. Even when we're living aboard the space station, we still do training here.
Hi, I'm Zara McKay. I'm in 7th grade from Denaway Middle School, and I wanted to ask, what's the toughest part of astronaut training?
Well, I would say that sometimes we have hard jobs and we do our best, but we still make mistakes. And yet your job is to keep going and just do your best the next time. And for me, that's sometimes a hard thing, and so I just work at it.
I'm from Washer
This is Evelyn Mendoza from Washer Elementary, 2nd grade. And her question is,
how
difficult
is it to sleep on the space?
Well, Evelyn, that's also a very good question. And, you know, that's interesting. When I flew on the space shuttle and I was up here for just a short time, it was very, very hard to sleep. But now that I've been here a long time, it's pretty easy to sleep. I actually sleep pretty well in space, floating. But I still look forward to sleeping in a bed. And I'm not sure why, but I do.
Hi, my name is Christian Frack, and I'm in 2nd grade, and I'm from Washer Elementary. My question is it hard to swallow in space?
Well, I was hoping that somebody would ask about food in space. Swallowing is actually no problem, and it doesn't feel any different. But I will say that eating can be challenging. We have food. A lot of it is sort of dehydrated food that we put water into, and it becomes food that we can chew up and swallow. But some of the things we bring from home are just like things that you might like. Like I like little cranberries, dried cranberries, and I like jelly beans. But then how to eat these in space? This is truly challenging, because as soon as I open this bag, all of these are going to want to come out. And so I'm going to have just a couple come out. And then we have to find them. And I found that the only way to really do this is, first of all, to be careful. And second of all, you sort of shoot them into your mouth. Like that. And sometimes we chew with our mouths open just for that reason.
My name is Emerson Grau. I'm in 1st grade and go to Washer Elementary. What can you see when you look up the window?
Well, when we look out the window, Emerson, the thing that we see and notice the most is planet Earth. Some of our best windows face the Earth, and it's very blue and very beautiful. So it's what we look at the most from the window. But we can also see stars if we're on the dark side of Earth, and planets. And we can see, of course, the sun and the moon. And the blackness of space. We can see the atmosphere of Earth, which is very noticeable. And, sometimes we could see shooting stars or other satellites, although those are really, really hard to see.
Hi, I'm Laura Denny. Does everyone get together for meals or hang out during free time?
Laura, there's 6 of us here on the space station, and we have 2 Americans, 1 Italian, and 3 Russians. When we have 2 kitchens, 2 bathrooms, and everybody has a place to sleep. And at mealtime, I would say at least a few of us always try to get together, although not all 6 every day, just because we all have different schedules, all have different jobs that we have to do throughout the day, and even sometimes almost past dinner time. But we try to all 6 get together, I would say about at least once a week, maybe more often, and just talk about our days and how things are going and what exciting things are happening. For example, our Russian partners are going on a spacewalk on Friday. We can't wait to watch.
My name is Haley Trevor. I'm in 5th grade from Subiel Elementary. Has there ever been a party on the ISS? And did you celebrate with cake?
Well, we do have little birthday parties when it's somebody's birthday, and, we certainly celebrate other holidays here. As far as a cake, there hasn't been a cake since I've been up here. We certainly have some desserts, and we have these little brownies that you might see in your school lunchroom called, well, I'm not going to say their name because I'm not allowed, but we don't have cake like you would normally have cake.
My name is Kevin Chang, and what has been your most proudest or most fun moment so far during your mission?
Well, most fun is actually waking up every single morning and realizing that I am still here on the space station. I mean, I grew up as a scientist, and then I was really excited about trying to be an astronaut, became an astronaut, but still part of you just doesn't believe that you'd really get to live in space. And every morning when I wake up, I'm floating. I don't know which way is up or down. I have to figure out, where is the door of my little crew quarters. And I'm just so excited to float around here. So that's the most fun. And, the most proud, it's actually kind of hard work up here. And often it takes me a long time to do it. And so when I'm actually doing all my work and I do it all right and I'm on the schedule, then I'm really proud.
My name is Nicholas Howard. What job takes up most of your day?
That's a hard question to answer because our days are very different. No 2 days up here are alike. We certainly spend a lot of time on maintenance of the station. We spend a lot of time doing science, a lot of time doing housekeeping kind of tasks, other, operational things, maybe flying the robot arm or in some cases supporting spacewalks or maybe doing spacewalks. Today, most of my day is spent doing a science experiment that is a fluid physics experiment. And between that and the exercise I'm doing, that's pretty much my entire day today.
Hello, my name is Kylie Lynn Thorkelson. My question is, what can you see when you look out in space?
When I look out there, I see the stars, and they look much like the stars that you would see. I know out there in Oregon, it's really nice and dark when you're not right near the city, and you can see a lot of stars. To me, up here in space, I feel like they look a little deeper to me instead of just one flat black sky with stars in it. I feel like it has some depth, and I feel like it's my neighborhood that I live in. Just like you live in a neighborhood down there on Earth, I feel like I'm learning my way around the stars.
Hi, I'm Amanda Scheller. I'm in 9th grade, and I participate in the ESA program through McMinnville High School. And my question is, do you have a lot of room on the ISS, especially personal space like for sleeping?
The space station is pretty big. There's... Geez, I don't know how many modules there are now. There are probably, at least 10 maybe pressurized modules on board the space station. And so we have about as much room as you might have in, let's say, a large house, maybe a 4-bedroom house. Some of that space is taken up with equipment, because imagine your house if you could never leave, or you couldn't leave for 6 months, how much stuff you would need in it. As far as personal space, we each have what's called a crew quarters, which is where we sleep. It's where we might do email or maybe watch a movie, and that space is fairly small. It's probably about the size of like a small bathroom in a house, or maybe I hate to use the analogy of a phone booth because they don't really exist anymore, but it's maybe a little bit bigger than if you can remember what or seen in movies what an old telephone booth looked like.
Hi, my name is Nathan Losman, and my question is, with so many nations working on the International Space Station, is it challenging to work together?
I wouldn't say it's challenging. For me, it's one of the parts that I enjoy the most. Being up here in space is very special, and I think it's something that, space belongs to the whole Earth, not just any one country, so I'm proud to be up here with representatives from many different countries. I think languages and understanding different languages can be very helpful, and so we all train in Russia because we launched to the space station on the Russian Soyuz, and it's always our rescue vehicle if we need it. And so we, as Americans and Europeans and Japanese, learn Russian, and the Russians learn English. And we have Paolo with us, who's from Italy, so we're working on a little bit of Italian, but so far I think I'm just up to buon appetito.
Hi, my name is Hannah Lang, and my question is, what is the best part about being in microgravity?
Best part about being in microgravity, you would think it'd be floating around, and that's fun. But I associate being in microgravity as being part of this larger mission, and for me, that's what the best part is about being part of a team and working at something that's really, really hard, and then doing well at it and being proud of yourself for your accomplishments. And I tell kids, that's something that you guys can do too, in your schoolwork and other activities, is work hard at them and then be proud of yourselves when you do a good job.
Hi, my name is Seth Schulbrock, and my question is, what do you do for recreation?
Well, all of us do a lot of running, bicycling, and weightlifting every day, about an hour and a half or so every day. We do that mostly because we don't walk around on our legs, and so we don't. Our bones don't maintain themselves. In fact, we lose bone just like some older people do. So we exercise quite a bit, and that's some recreation. And then I think everybody, it's just like on Earth, everybody has their own particular things that they do. I'm still pretty new up here, so I haven't had a lot of free time yet. But down on the Earth, when I have some free time, I like to be with my family. Can't do that up here, so I also like to play the flute. I'm a musician, so I do just a little bit of that up here, and I think a lot of us like to, here's my flute. I keep it out here. It gets to float around, and a lot of us like to read and watch TV and movies, just like down there on the Earth.
my name is Kai Rasmussen, and my question is, do you have internet access, or do you like to social networks like Facebook?
Yeah, we do actually have an internet that is connected real time, although it isn't available all the time because of the satellite coverage, and it's somewhat finicky. But at certain times it is usable, and it's useful, and it's a really nice capability to have on board. Most of the stuff we do, though, in that area, like social networking, email, those kind of things, we don't do it on the real-time connected internet because it's not quite as reliable. What we do is we kind of synchronize our mail with the ground at certain times throughout the day, and but it works well for staying connected with people on the Earth. And you'll notice, or you may know, a lot of astronauts do Twitter, and NASA has a Facebook account for the International Space Station, so we do some social networking outreach that way.
My name is Lucas Simpson, and can you notice changes in the Earth?
Every time we look down at the Earth, Lucas, it looks different. It depends on the weather. It depends on the light. We can see, certainly all the snow that's been happening in the U.S. in the past few weeks. In fact, it's nice for me. I'm always looking for Portland because my stepmom and my brothers live in Portland and up in Vancouver, Washington. In fact, I've been to your great museum right there in McMinnville, so I'm glad to be thinking about where you are. Unfortunately, I keep trying to take a picture, and it's often cloudy there in McMinnville. But we do definitely see lots of changes on the Earth, and in fact, we get to be the representative of many scientists up here and take pictures of the Earth. We take hundreds and hundreds of pictures of the Earth every week just to diagnose, how is the Earth doing for these scientists.
Hi, my name is Danielle Miller, and I was wondering, what are some of the experiments you guys are working on?
Well, like I said earlier, I was working on a fluid physics experiment today called Marangoni, and it's trying to understand how fluids behave in microgravity. Because when you take gravity away from the problem you're trying to understand, it allows you to understand things better, and we have a unique environment here to do that. And Cady's demonstrating to you here with this bag of water how fluids behave a little bit differently than they do on Earth by making this large water ball. I think, though, one thing that interests me about the space station is the whole thing in itself is an experiment. It's an experiment in how to make systems that allow people to stay alive for long periods of time in space. It's an experiment on the humans to understand how they do in space, and it's also learning things that will enhance our lives on Earth. So the whole thing is one big experiment.
Well, folks, we lost satellite feed. That's pretty much
All right, thank you, guys.
So.
We've appreciated talking to you. Please come see us again here in Mac, and thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Yeah, it was great talking to you guys, too, and thanks for all the great questions. Have a great day.
Yay.
Station, this is Houston ACR. That concludes the event. Thank you.
Thank you, Evergreen Aviation and Space Museum. Station, we are now resuming operational communications.